Hi friends, I'm Olivia Smith. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel where I share the latest global news every day. You can also read more news on TimeGlitter.com. You can find all the links in the video description below. Friends, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, let's jump into today's news. News headline: First week of Rust Armor trial paints picture of chaotic set where safety was secondary. News details: In the trial of Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer from the movie Rust, witnesses this week described a chaotic environment where safety wasn't the top priority before the tragic shooting of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. Gutierrez-Reed, whose job was to make sure all guns on set were safe, is facing charges of involuntary manslaughter and tampering for the incident on October 23, 2021. She's the first to stand trial. And what happens here could impact Alec Baldwin, who's set for trial in July. Prosecutors say Gutierrez-Reed, then 24, didn't follow safety rules properly and didn't do her job well. Gutierrez-Reed's lawyers say she's being blamed unfairly. This week, people like crew members, law enforcement, and a firearms expert testified, talking about what happened before and after the shooting. In a New Mexico courtroom on Monday, a crew member named Ross Adiego told the jury that the movie production was moving very fast and that safety didn't seem to be a top concern. Some crew members even left their jobs to protest the working conditions just before the shooting. There were also complaints about how guns were being handled safely. Adiego said that Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer, wasn't as professional as other armorers he'd worked with before. He mentioned that firearms were left unsecured. He also saw the shooting happen and gave a detailed explanation of what went down. The shooting took place during a rehearsal for the Western movie. Alec Baldwin, who not only acted in the film but also helped produce it, was holding a gun aimed at Halyna Hutchins when it went off, hitting her and injuring the film's director, Joel Souza. Sadly, Hutchins, who was 42 years old, passed away at a nearby hospital. Baldwin has stated that he didn't pull the trigger of the gun, but he did pull back its hammer. The gun was supposed to have blanks in it, but when it went off unexpectedly, it caused a lot of fear and confusion. According to Adiego, I remember looking at Halyna first, and she was clearly hurt by that gunshot sound we just heard. She was turning pale and holding her side, Adiego recalled. Adiego, who is suing Baldwin and the movie production company, said he's seeking justice. 2 people got hurt on a film set. That has affected not only me but also the whole film industry, he said. Souza testified on Friday, explaining how he got behind Hutchins to check the camera angle when there was a loud bang. It felt like someone had hit him with a baseball bat on his shoulder, he said. He told the jury that lying next to Hutchins, he couldn't believe he had been shot. Gutierrez-Reed, visibly upset, approached him at one point and said, I'm sorry, Joel." Gutierrez-Reed seemed visibly upset during his testimony. Souza recounted his experience at the hospital, where he kept insisting to the medical staff that a real bullet couldn't have been fired. I just kept saying, you don't understand. I couldn't believe it because we were on a movie set, but they showed me the X-ray of my back, and there was a big bullet in it, he said. David Halls, the assistant director and safety coordinator on set, told the jury that Gutierrez-Reed had been thorough in her job. He took responsibility for the shooting, admitting that he didn't do a final check of the weapon. Halls reached a plea deal last year for negligent use of a deadly weapon and received a 6-month suspended sentence. I failed to do a safety check, Halls said, occasionally wiping away tears. Adiego's testimony that Gutierrez-Reed wasn't very professional supported the prosecutor's argument that she was careless and didn't take safety rules seriously. The prosecution mentioned that live bullets, which Gutierrez-Reed supposedly brought from home, were found on the set. During interviews with the police shown in court this week, Gutierrez-Reed seemed surprised to hear about the live bullets on the set. She insisted that she had checked the gun before giving it to Baldwin. I wish I had checked it more thoroughly, Gutierrez-Reed said in an interview from October 2021. I truly believe this was just a terrible accident, she said. Prosecutors pointed out discrepancies in her statements, including her claim of inspecting the bullets. Gutierrez-Reed said she shook them to hear if there were BBs inside, but investigators found at least one bullet that didn't have BBs and was marked as a dummy with a hole in it. This week's witnesses also included 2 firearms experts whose testimonies raised doubts about Baldwin's version of the shooting and his claim that the gun malfunctioned. An FBI expert stated on Monday that the revolver Baldwin used was fully fully functional, with safety features when it was examined at an FBI lab. He mentioned that he had to hit the fully cocked gun with a mallet to break it and make it fire without pulling the trigger. Lucian Hogg, an independent firearms expert, supported the FBI's findings, stating that he saw no evidence that the gun had been tampered with before the FBI tested it. Don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe to the YouTube